Get strong.
Hello guys, it's Smitler here. Welcome to my first episode of the new series, Haas to Hero. We will be aiming to take this Haas team to the top of the F1 world. The overall aim is to win the Constructors Championship with Haas and hopefully picking up a World Drivers Championship too. As you can see, I'm just going through the settings in the background here. I was thinking of making it a little bit harder for me and increasing the amount the AI get their resources, but to be honest, I think it might take us a while to complete this challenge anyway, so we don't need to make it any harder than it actually is. I've no idea how many seasons this is going to take for me to be able to actually get to the top. So these settings hopefully are going to be about right. I mean, 100 AI difficulty, that tends to put me around where my teammate is, which if you ever do your own career mode, I think is probably where you should judge it. You know, if you're around where your teammate is, perfect, that's where you should be. I'm fully expecting it to be a couple of seasons before I even get my first win, let alone even have a thought of winning the actual championship. So it's going to be a long slog, but I'm looking forward to this challenge. If you guys have any suggestions as to how I can improve the series or do anything slightly different to make it more watchable for you guys, then please do let me know. If you haven't already, please do subscribe, like the video, tell your friends, let the world know. You know, at the end of the day, this is a new channel. It's going to be a long-term project for me, and I want you guys to come along with me and experience the growth. It was a tricky decision actually on who to do, whether it was going to be Williams or Haas for this series, because I do quite like Williams, I won't lie, but I thought Haas, lower budget, bit more of a challenge. That's what we like, isn't it? The other big decision was Mazepin or Schumacher. Although Mazepin would have been funny, I think I have to go with Schumacher to make it slightly easier for our car to be upgraded, because I know he'll probably get me a few more R&D points from the practice sessions, which, to be honest with you, we're going to need. If I'm honest with you, I actually thought that all the departments would be at Spec 1. So I was a bit surprised to see that the aerodynamics and chassis is Spec 2, which is a nice, pleasant surprise. As you can see, Haas Williams basically neck and neck in last there. Not much between them. So I think at the start of the season, we just got to try and beat the Williams and see where we go from there. Next decision was what driver perks we're going to give ourselves. Now, there was a couple that I thought of. I mean, social media team doesn't matter because we're not going to be moving teams, so I'll claim, if I'm honest, that it makes absolutely no difference. Was going to go engine wear, but I think we've just got to try and get as many R&D points as quickly as possible, so the 10% increase on that was pretty crucial, I think. Firstly, we can make our first upgrade. So I thought I'd have a look, see where we're at with the R&D, see what departments we're okay in, and see what departments that we seem to be struggling in. So let's have a look. Durability, how are we looking at durability? Durability's pretty good, which was, I guess expected. Haas, I mean, everything else is pretty poor, isn't it? But that sums it up. It's between us and Williams for the last two teams. So I've decided to go with a chassis, just to make the car maybe feel a little bit better going around those corners, because I know how stiff these Haas cars tend to feel. So then we move on to the car reveal. And then to my surprise, after a nice little message from Gunter there actually, we are going to have to have some patience for sure. I'm not doubting that. But yeah, I mean, look what we got there. We got a durability upgrade. We're up to Spec 2. I was not expecting that. I mean, durability is relatively strong with Haas. So I don't think I'll be upgrading that, to be honest. Not as much as any other department anyway. So I will be doing quick practices for this career mode, just purely because it takes up so much time to actually do the practice programs, and I just don't think it's worth it. As we go into the first practice here, you have to do it on career mode, annoyingly, after a big speech from Will Buxton, which I'm sure those of you who have started more than one career mode, it gets a bit tiresome after just one, let alone when you've done 3 or 4. So we just did a quick race strategy performance, just so that we can try and get the other 2 done in quick practice for practice 2 and practice 3, which I'm going to skip through quickly here. As you can see, I'll have it running quickly in the background so that it doesn't waste too much time on the video. And we do manage to get all 15 done, which I think will be crucial in the development of the Haas. Otherwise, we're going to be left behind by quite a long way. And I think it's also crucial that Mick Schumacher, as you can see there, managed to get a decent tally of R&D, which will be important. You know, that's why I picked him over Mazepin, because I feel like he's going to be getting us that R&D. I think the aim for the first half of the season has got to be to get the car to a point where we're consistently getting into Q2. So talking of qualifying, let's go to qualifying. So we're going to start off with our first lap of Q1 here. It was a pretty solid lap, I must admit. Just seeing the end of it now, I mean, I think if we can get into Q2, it will be a massive achievement, if I'm honest, considering we are the worst car on the grid. Where does our first lap put us? It puts us just ahead of Raikkonen in the Alfa Romeo, actually, so that is a positive sign. And we move to our second lap in qualifying, right at the end of qualifying. As you can see, we're about a 10th up after the first sector, so it's looking good. We do find ourselves just in the drop zone. Schumacher so far getting a faster lap than us, which is a bit of a surprise. We are ahead of 2 Williams and an Alfa Romeo though, so that is a bit of a shock. As you can see, Raikkonen with a 105.7 after the second sector. Can we beat that or match that? Because I think it's going to be one of the Haas, Alfa Romeo or Williams that will make it into Q2, which will probably be the case for most of the start of the season. So I think those are 2 rival teams, Alfa Romeo, Williams. Alfa Romeo obviously being a little bit quicker than us and Williams, as seen by the leaderboard currently. As we're almost 5 tenths up going into the final corner. Lose a little bit of time there, but we gain it back on the exit. 5 tenths up, is that going to be enough to get us into Q2? I think it is, you know. I think we just pipped it into 15th place there. And I was right, we've got 15th. Of course, it's the top 15 that go through into Q2. Beating Kimi by over a 10th there. So that's a solid performance, and not bad for Mick, beating the 2 Williams as well. So as we move on into Q2, I did only have 1 set of soft tyre left. I thought it wasn't worth, considering the tyre wear you get at Bahrain, it was not worth going out on a lap on 9-10% worth of tyres. So I saved this last run for the end of the session. As we're halfway through the lap here, using Gasly as a bit of a slipstream, who's already finished. Hoping he gets out of the way in a minute, otherwise we could be in a bit of trouble. But to be honest with you, anything other than 15th would be a phenomenal achievement, considering who we're up against in this session. We're nowhere near the Alpines or the AlphaTauris in terms of development of the car, so I'm not really expecting, oh, Gasly, blimey, go for a move up the inside there almost, even though his qualifying's over, but there we are. And we cross across the line, and I'm not sure. Yeah, no, 15th. Although it was blooming close, I must admit. Bahrain being one of my stronger tracks. So, yeah. Well, let's go to the race and let's see what we can do.
All come to an end today as we return to racing for the opening event of what promises to be an enthralling season. Welcome along then to round 1 of this year's Formula One World Championship. We go racing today around 3.36 miles of the magnificent Bahrain International Circuit, with 15 corners and 2 good passing opportunities into turns 1 and 4. Keep an eye out for drivers locking the front left tyre into the tricky braking zone of turn 10. So here we are in 2021 at the start of another Formula One World Championship. It all begins here. Mercedes looking to retain their hold on the title. Red Bull seeking to secure their position as the main contender for that title. Ferrari no doubt hoping for a fresh start following their difficulties last year. And elsewhere on the grid, the prospect of some really exciting battles, including between the newly rebranded Aston Martin and Alpine teams. Lots to discuss then with Anthony Davidson, who's joined me in the commentary box for today's event.
It's good to be back, Crofty. Let's hope for some good racing today. We can't know at this point how competitive these teams are relative to each other, but hopefully nobody is able to run and hide. We want to see these drivers pushing to the limit all the way to the checkered flag.
Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks for today's race. An immense lap from Lewis Hamilton yesterday puts him on pole position, and Valtteri Bottas will line up alongside. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Verstappen, Perez, Lando Norris and Ricciardo, Vettel, Leclerc, Stroll and Carlos Sainz, Fernando Alonso, Gasly, Yuki Tsunoda and Ocon, the Black Mamba, Raikkonen, Antonio Giovinazzi and Mick Schumacher, Russell and Nicholas Latifi. And with preparations almost complete, let's head down to the track.
So the positive thing about Bahrain is all those in the top 10 that qualified on the softs, bar Bottas I might add, he did qualify on the medium, so he will be doing a one-stop I imagine. The rest of them will all be doing a two-stop. We only need to do a one-stop. We don't have to use the soft tyre. So I think I'm going to go a bit risky and go hard to mediums. Those around me will probably do medium to hard. So as long as we can stick with them on their medium stint, we could do something special on the mediums. And who knows, maybe sneak into the points. We'll just have to wait and see. But I think that's the strategy here. I think what we've got to hope for here is that those who are starting on the soft get stuck behind those who are behind me on the one stop, get held up, and who knows, we could sneak into the top 10. I mean, obviously Bottas, he's probably going to be doing a one stop on those mediums, but everyone else in the top 10 is starting on the softs. So let's just hope for a bit of luck, and you never know. So let's go to the race start. So it's 5 lights and we are away. It's a good start off the line, better than Ocon, but he sort of pushes us left, leaves us with not much room as we go down into turn 1. Oh, late on the brakes, and we have to just dodge left to avoid Stroll, pushes out wide a little bit. And what can we do? Schumacher, what's Schumacher doing there? Mick Schumacher's got off to a flyer. He's just slotting in ahead of us, but we've got Russell behind us, so we're going to have to defend. Russell tries for the dive up the inside. Right, God, we have to leave the room, go around the outside. Can we hold it off? Yes, we can, and we just stay into 16th. We've lost a position, but overall, considering we're starting on the hards and everyone else is on the mediums, it's not too bad. So the plan's got to be now to just try and stick with Schumacher. If we can stick with Schumacher when he swaps over to the hards and we're onto the mediums, then maybe we can make some overtakes. You never know, with a bit of luck, those guys on the two-stop will sort of slot in behind us and have to make the overtake. So hopefully we can defend off them, and maybe we could sneak into the top 10. I mean, we're 6 positions away at the moment. If we can stick with Schumacher, hopefully Schumacher's got some decent pace and can keep up with the Alpines ahead of him. Although it looks like the AlphaTauris ahead have got a bit of damage, because they are holding up a lot of the guys back here, which is useful for us. And as you can see, we skipped to lap 5. The AlphaTauris did both pit, so they must have both got a bit of damage in turn 1, which is good for us. Gives me and Mick Schumacher a couple more places, so we're only 4 places off the points now. If we can try and stick with Mick, then who knows. As we go to lap 7, as Perez is one of the first on the soft tyre to pit, and he comes out just ahead of us between me and Mick, and he's onto the medium, so I imagine he's probably going to do a soft, medium, potentially soft. I think the AI mostly do soft, medium, medium, so I'll have to see on that one. Bit annoying, he's come out just ahead of us, but I don't think we're going to be fighting Perez. We go on another lap, and we've got a couple more cars pitting. Lando Norris, Vettel, we get past Vettel, we're going to get past Norris. It's going to be a bit tight here on the exit. We give him the room. I mean, to be honest, he's on the softs. There's not really much point in fighting him. We've got to try and stick with Schumacher. Yeah, we're just going to have to let him past, I'm afraid, because he's on those soft compound tyres. He's a McLaren, we're in a Haas. We absolutely have no chance of fighting this. So we just let him through. We also have Ricciardo chasing us down. It's probably going to be similar circumstances where we don't want to really lose much time in fighting him. Though he is on the medium and not the soft, he will still just breeze past us as he goes here. Ooh, makes a move just before the DRS zone. Bit odd. Probably should have just waited to the straight, which he is doing now. And look at that, just straight past us. We stand absolutely no chance. We are way off the McLaren level at the moment, and I think it will be some time before we see ourselves fighting a McLaren. But as you can see up the road as well, Norris within a lap has already closed down a 3-second gap to Schumacher and got past him. So I think that shows the level as where our car is at, and we just have to accept it at this point. We're not fighting the McLarens. We're going to be fighting to see if we can get anywhere near the points, and if we do, perfect. So as we move on to lap 13 now, we have actually closed the gap to Mick Schumacher, so maybe he's starting to struggle on those mediums, as Vettel, as you can see in the wing mirror there, is absolutely steaming in on us and breezes past us as if we're not there. I mean, he's one of the two stoppers, so we don't really stand a chance in fighting him. He will have to stop again, but he's already got past us because we have to stop again as well. And I think at the moment we just stand absolutely no chance in fighting cars like this on Haas. So we try to stick with Vettel, help him carry us to Mick, and it has done a little bit. Mick really struggling on those mediums now. We've got within a second. Is he going to pit? He does pit. Lap 14. As we go into lap 15, Mick Schumacher pits. We're only going on for another couple of laps before we pit. So if we can really push the car for the next couple of laps, then maybe we can set some decent times and not be too far behind Mick. You know, we should be much quicker than him on the medium tyre than he is on the hard. So if we can just get within 3-4 seconds maybe of Mick, I think we will definitely have him before the end of the race. As we skip to lap 16, I believe we're going to come in this lap because we are losing a lot of pace, I must admit, and we stand absolutely no chance against Stroll. We've also got Leclerc coming up behind us, as well as Norris. I mean, we're really struggling now, having to lift off on these corners. We weren't earlier. Got no choice. So, and Leclerc drives a big dive from around the inside. We give him the space, and he goes straight past us with ease. We're definitely coming in this lap. No point in staying out any longer. The mediums will definitely last us to the end now, so hopefully we've not lost too much time to Mick Schumacher. Easy does it in the pits. We don't want to get any penalties. Let's see where Mick Schumacher is. He's coming around the last straight, looking to come around the last bend as well. It would be important that we can get out ahead of whoever's behind Mick Schumacher. I think it's Giovinazzi. Let's have a look. Come out the pits and see Mick Schumacher on the left side there, just go straight past. Who's behind him? It's the Alfa Romeo Giovinazzi. Ooh, we just get out ahead of him. That is crucial actually, because we don't really want to waste any time whatsoever fighting Giovinazzi when we've got Mick Schumacher in our sights. There he is. That's the man we're chasing. So now it's just going to be head down, drive as fast as we can. Don't worry about the tyre wear. We're coming for you, Mick. 4-second gap. That should be enough. That should be enough for us to catch him before the end of the race. Alonso 6.3 ahead. I think if we were in a faster car, we would have a chance. Who knows? We might be able to catch that 6.3 second gap. But I mean, it's already going up, and we're on a nice fresh pair of mediums compared to his hards. I'm not sure we've got the pace. But you never know, a couple of DNFs in the top 10 and we could be in it. As we skip to lap 18, Leclerc coming out of the pits between me and Mick, which is quite annoying. See if we can stick to Leclerc and see if he can carry us to Mick, because we're not gaining a great deal of time on Mick. Not as much as I thought we would on the mediums, I'll be honest. Well, let's see what we can do here. I imagine Leclerc is going to get right up behind Mick very quick. And as we see on lap 18 here, Leclerc trying to get past Mick Schumacher, and he does it with ease. He does it with ease. We're now chasing down Mick Schumacher, not too far behind, saying 3.4 there, but I'm not 100% accurate that is. 2.2 now, so yeah, it obviously wasn't very accurate. And as Lance Stroll comes out the pits, and oh my word, he almost crashes into Leclerc. That could have been handy for us, taking those two out, and me and Mick would actually have some chance of a chance of some points. But it wasn't to be. So I think they're going to zoom off up the road, and the best we can do here is actually just get past Mick Schumacher. We're gaining in on him, and as we skip to lap 20, we're within the distance to catch him. Can we get the DRS? We got the DRS. Can we get him on this straight? We should be much quicker with DRS. Let's see. Going up through the gears. We haven't got much overtake left, so I don't want to waste any of it now. Go for a move up the inside. Schumacher defends to the inside. Can we get round the outside? No, we decide to brake early. Get the better run off on this corner. We don't get the best. Poor gear changes from me there, I must admit. DRS, this straight is a lot shorter than you think it is. That's probably given away what happens here. We do not get past him. So we've got to be stuck behind him for another lap, unfortunately. Which is a little bit frustrating. Because I know we're much quicker than him. And it would be great if we had a mechanic in the game whereby you could let teammates through like they do in real life. Unfortunately, you can't do that in the game. So we're going to have to just stick behind Mick. Maybe we can get in the DRS zone after this corner. Let's see how we take it. What a cracking view that is. It's really useful for when you're looking at the car ahead. Oh, there we are. DRS open. Again, straight isn't really long enough to make the move here. So we have to go around again. Round this long right-hander here. Wasting a lot of time. I mean, I'll be honest, I don't think it makes much difference because there's no one ahead of Mick that we're capable of catching in this car. So unfortunately, you know, this could be all we get for the rest of the race. As we come round the last corner, a really good run on Mick here. Use most of that overtake just to make sure we get the move done. We don't need to really. He's pushing us towards the pit wall, rather dangerous from him, but there we are. Have the inside line. We're just going to push him wide on the exit. Make sure that we get past him and we're through. He's got the DRS for this straight, but he's too far back, and like I said earlier, it's quite a short straight, so not much opportunity for overtaking. And let's just see what we can do from now. I mean, we need to make sure we extend this gap out to Mick, just in case. You never know. With a couple of DNFs, we could get into the top 10. Seems unlikely, but stranger things have happened. I'm talking of DNFs, Sebastian Vettel. He's ahead of us, isn't he? He is. There he is on the side of the road. Hang on a minute. We're in 11th now. We could actually be fighting for points here. One more DNF or a crash or anything, and we could be in a position for actually getting our first points in our first race. Although this is some quite horrendous driving from me, I must admit. I think I got a bit excited by the fact that I saw Vettel had mechanical failure and is out of the race. And abysmal line through here almost gives Mick Schumacher the opportunity to go through. And with little overtake left, and he's going to have DRS on the next straight, we're actually in danger of losing our position once again. Let's see, let's get a good run. We've got a decent run out of that corner actually. Use a lot of overtake just to make sure. Mick is going to have DRS, so we do have to be a bit careful. We're down to 6% ERS. Can we hold it? We go to the inside, defend the inside. Got the inside line again. I think we're just going to try and push him wide. We do, and we get away from him. But all it takes now is one more mechanical failure, crash, puncture, who knows, in the top 10, and we're in for some points. This could be the greatest first ever race Haas will have. We've built that gap up to over a second now to Mick Schumacher. So hopefully we can now just drive off up the road and not have to worry about him. As we skip to lap 25. Alonso's 7.7 seconds ahead, and oh my word, Gasly's appeared out of nowhere. That is a bit of a worry. Gasly's only 2 seconds behind and he's gaining rather rapidly, but he is in a much quicker car, so you would expect that. Mick Schumacher could do us a favour here and hold him up for a while, otherwise we could be in danger of actually losing 11th. So, you know, if we can try and stick in 11th and there's another DNF, then who knows, we can get some points, but that's not going to happen if Gasly overtakes us. So there's a little bit of a worry. as we skip on to lap 28 here, and Gasly did get past Mick Schumacher, and he is right on our tail. We've got a lap and a half to defend against Gasly. Can we hold it? Got a lot of VRS to use. I think I've been saving it because I knew that Gasly might come up behind us, and it's going to be crucial come the end of this race. He's right behind us here, so we are in a little bit of trouble. He's in a much quicker car, and the AlphaTauri is incredibly quick over a straight line. So this last sector, rather dangerous for us, especially with a DRS zone coming up. Is he going to make the move here, or is he going to wait? We go to the inside, move back to the racing line, squeeze him out on the corner, catches a bit of our dirty air, a little bit of wheel spin on the back there for Gasly. Got a decent exit out of that corner, 5 tenths, 4 tenths, 3 tenths. It's coming down, he's coming up right behind us. He goes to the inside, we give him a room. Whoa, can we hold it? Can we hold it? Can we hold it? We got the inside line for that corner there, and we've just about held it, but he's got DRS again, and he's using the slipstream from us. He's going to make a similar move to what Russell did on lap 1. We give him the space again, but we just got that speed going around the outside, so we can hold him off. One more DRS zone to go now. Can we hold it for 11th? This seems stupid, really, fighting this match for 11th, but this could be one of the highest finishes we see this season, so, you know, we've got to take it. Going into the final DRS zone now, he's right behind us, but it is quite a short straight. Oh no, he looks like he might have us here, I'll be honest. Slipstream, DRS, does he make the move? No, he doesn't, he just sits behind us. Last lap. No more DRS zones left now for Pierre Gasly to get past us. He's right behind us here. He's not leaving us much room whatsoever. As we go down the straight, using a lot of VRS to try and keep ahead of Mick Schumacher, to be fair to him, he's not too far behind, so we really didn't gain much of a gap on those mediums as I thought we would. And as we go to cross the line, we take 11th. You know what, I'm extremely happy with that, because I did not expect to be anywhere near the points for at least the first half of the season. In the first race we're 11th. I'm not sure how long that will last, or whether we'll be that close to the points even again this season, but who knows, we can hope for it.
Grand Prix here in Bahrain, and a real champion's drive to take the win. Anthony Davidson, a resounding victory today. What set them apart from the rest?
Well, this was a real team victory. They put together a solid strategy today that appeared well suited to the conditions out on track. The driver did everything that was expected of them in the moment to really execute the team's plan to perfection. A shining example of how F1 really is a team sport.
And I can see the driver starting to approach the podium for the victory celebrations. A real team victory today. Everybody played their part. Congratulations then to Mercedes, your race winners today. After today's performance, Valtteri Bottas secures the championship lead. Some amazing talent out on the track today, but Anthony, who would you pick as your driver of the day?
Let's give it to Esteban Ocon. That was a commanding performance today. Very impressive indeed.
Let's move on to the constructors. Mercedes moved to the top of the table. Well, Ant, an end to another fantastic weekend of racing. Thanks to everyone who joined us, and we'll see you for the next one.
So you can't complain with that. 11th and 13th in the first race for Haas. I'll be honest, I'll be surprised if we get 2 high finishes like that again for the first half of this season, but who knows. If you have enjoyed the video, please like it, please subscribe to the channel. I appreciate all the help you guys give me, and I'll catch you in the next one.